Hello and welcome to this week's Surpass Community Update. My name is Tim Burnett. I hope you're all safe and well. In this week's episode, we're looking at coming features in Surpass. We've got a new webinar that's coming out on the 3rd of June next week. That'll be looking at the latest features coming in Surpass. We have a roadmap update with Jen. We have lots of community news, jobs and events, and we also have the opportunity to win an ATP Innovations in Testing Digital Pass. I'll see you all in 10 seconds. Hello, my name's Tim Burnett. Welcome to the Surpass Community Weekly Update. It's the 28th of May. I hope you're all safe and well. Just a very quick reminder, don't forget we have this Surpass conference taking place on the 4th to the 8th of October. Get yourself registered for that. Lots of more news to come out in June around that, but we've got plenty of ideas as to how we're going to make that such an awesome event. So please do check that out. Other news, we have a release webinar coming up on the 3rd of June. Ashleigh and Kat are going to be taking through some of the latest features in Surpass, and Ashleigh has very kindly put together just a little short clip just to help you understand what's coming up in that session.
Hi there, it's Ashleigh here, the Trading Manager at BTL. I'm here to talk to you about the 1226 pre-release Surpass webinar next Thursday on the 3rd of June. In this webinar, we're going to take you through the highlights of the release, and some of those highlights are a new HTML item type in item authoring. There's a new media file type permitted in the media library. Some other HTML news, end of test feedback is now available for HTML tests. We've made some improvements to the test administration screens, and also we've expanded some of the maximum upper limits for some functionality in Surpass. So if that's given you a little teaser, come along, join us next Thursday for our pre-release Surpass webinar.
Thanks to Ashleigh. Other webinar news, we have a date change for our healthcare assessment webinar. That's going to now take place on the 6th of July. Previously, it was going to be on the 8th, but we just had to adjust it slightly because some people are just very busy with exam seasons. Now, we have actually got a fantastic lineup of speakers lined up for this. Jim Crawford's going to be taking you through various different aspects of how people are using Surpass for the healthcare space. And if you're not in that space, then you'll still find it a very useful experience because, as always, you always take away, and this is one of the great things of Surpass Community, looking at how other people are using the platform gives you real inspiration as to how you can use it yourself. So please do check that out. If you want to register for that, then go to surpass.com/signup. And if you want to watch any of our previous webinars, then go to surpass.com/webinars. Next up, we've got an update from Jen. Now, I played this a few weeks ago. I'm going to play it again because some of you may have missed it. But Jen Warhurst is going to take you through some of the latest features that are coming to Surpass and part of the roadmap that we're planning for the platform. So here's Jen. Hi, Jen. How are you doing?
Hi, Tim. Good, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad. Thank you for joining me today. Now, we're going to talk about roadmaps. You've been doing some work on roadmaps for customers to understand what's happening as a kind of year-long view. So what are the 3 roadmaps that you've been working on?
So I have been working on 3 roadmaps for the Flash to HTML program of work that I project manage. So the first one we have just released. So that has kind of been sent out through account managers a couple of weeks ago. And that is the customer migration roadmap. So that includes lots of features like item types being converted to HTML, annotations being available, end of test feedback. Some of those features that we have available in Flash at the minute and aren't available in the HTML driver or in HTML subjects just yet. So it's all of the kind of timelines and giving people an idea of when those will be available and when we are planning on developing them in HTML.
And then, I suppose that's important because we've put the viewer application out there. People can continue delivering their Flash items and deliver their Flash tests, can't they? But there's still that legacy issue of items, which some are still Flash. Obviously, we've got a lot of HTML-based activities, but it's just helping people make that final step, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So these are things that people kind of need to have in place so that we can start to move away from Flash and start delivering exams in HTML. It then means that if people want to deliver in web delivery, that's obviously much easier in HTML. You can just use a mainstream browser. If you want to use secure client, you can still continue doing that, whether it's delivered in Flash or HTML. But it just makes a lot of the end-to-end processes easier for people, and it means that we can be a bit more flexible in our use of tests and how we deliver things.
Perfect, excellent. So tell me about the other two roadmaps then. What are the other two you've been working on?
So the other two are still under construction, and we did kind of mention that to customers in our email about the one that we have done. So the two that we're working on are the remaining features and screens that we need to convert for test administration. Yeah. So far we have converted Mark, Invigilate, Results, and Schedule. There's still a couple of features that we want to finish off in Schedule, Results, and Invigilate, but one or two, there's not that much left in there that needs to be changed. We then still have Remark, Moderate, and Audit, and we are currently having a look at how we split those screens up, where we can add the best value. Is it by doing half of Remark and doing kind of half of the functionality in there, and then we'll start doing half the functionality in Moderate and then go back and finish Remark later? Because we work in agile development, we kind of want to look at the best way that we can deliver value to customers, and sometimes that will be by making a subset of functions available in one of the screens and then moving on to make a subset of features available in another screen, because there are fewer functions that are used by all customers. So it's just trying to make sure that we have a nice balance in how we prioritize that. So we're still working on the priority of test admin at the minute, but we are hoping that by the start of the next release, 12.28, that we should have a roadmap available, so that we can share that and people understand when screens will be coming available in HTML.
Perfect. And Content Producer, I believe, is the last of the roadmaps that you're working on. Can you tell me a bit more about that? Yeah.
So Content Producer is one of our legacy products from R11, as we call it, Release 11, of Surpass, when the product was kind of more modular. So what was the equivalent of item authoring is Content Producer, which was its own product. And there are so many different things that you can do in Content Producer. It's basically like having a blank page. You can stick a bit of stuff here, some stuff there. You can go crazy. So because we have made that tool available to some of our older customers, and they were used to the different things that you can do in Content Producer,
it's quite embedded in their process, wasn't it? It was quite
absolutely. We now kind of need to take some of those features and functionalities from that old product and make sure that they're available and supported, not only in R12, but that they're there in HTML in R12. So there's some work going on to understand how we solve that problem at the minute. And we have there's kind of some work and a development team working on that at the minute. But then there's a few other things that we know that we still need to look at after we've kind of completed that. But there will be a roadmap coming out soon that just gives an overview of certainly the next few things that we've got planned for it.
Perfect. And how is all this going to be connected to the release cycle? Because obviously we've got 12.26 is coming soon, isn't it? And there's a webinar on the 3rd of June planned for that. But so how's it connected?
So what we are aiming on doing is that with each release we have, at the start of that we do what's called release planning. So all of the developers and the supporting resources, so our product owners, technical architects, design, solutions architects, we get everyone all together and have a meeting and say, here are the things that we want to achieve in this release. Here are the features we want to look at. Can you go away and plan them, and then tell us which of those you think are going to fit in, and are some bigger than we initially thought, are some going to be smaller, and that kind of gives us a better view of what will happen in each release. So because of the way we do that planning, I will then, once we've finished that and kind of got that outline and said this is what we think we'll achieve in this release, I will then update the roadmap with that information. Potentially that will have an impact on a couple of the other releases following, but that will mean that we're regularly refreshing that information. It also means that I will add another release onto the end, so that we're always giving roughly a year view of the development that's coming up, so that we're kind of making sure the information that we have, we're giving to our customers so that they're as up to date as possible as they can be, knowing that we plan to different horizon planning timelines. So the information we have on the features that are closest to us and going to happen more soon, that are going to happen sooner, that we have better information on them and we're kind of more confident in those features than we are the ones that are a bit further away and further out.
Yeah, no, that's fine, because you spend more time and detail on the ones that are closer, don't you?
Exactly. So the ones that are closer will always have been more refined.
Yeah, and it's a nice way, isn't it? Because otherwise, if you just did a snapshot in time, this is what a year is going to be like. As we know, a lot could change in a year, very much so. So it needs to be constantly considered, doesn't it? Well, that sounds all brilliant. How can people get a hold of this? How can Surpass community members find this information?
So if you haven't already got it, send your account manager an email or give them a call and ask them to send it over to you, and they will be able to share the roadmap with you.
Perfect. And also reach out to me as well if you're not too sure, and I'll try and help you. Well, thank you very much, Jen. Much appreciated. And take care, and I hope you're safe and well, and I'll speak to you soon.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me, Tim.
Cheers, Jen.
Bye.
See you later. Bye. Thanks, Al. So do reach out to your account manager if you haven't received that information through. Okay, so next up, opportunity to win an Innovations in Testing Digital Pass. So the conference took place, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago. Absolutely fantastic event. Really global series, looking at lots of aspects around assessment, certification, looking at technology, all sorts of different content and speakers, and some excellent presentations. I really do strongly recommend it. If you don't win this, then you might look at investing, because I think it would be an investment anyway. If you want to buy one, then go to innovationstesting.org and you can buy a pass there. But the alternative route is we're going to give one away. If you go to surpass.com/follow the community, we're going to be sending out our quarterly newsletter on around the 10th of June. So look out for that. And there'll be information in there as to how you can win that pass. So if you want to jump the queue, then by all means go and purchase one straight from ATP. But if not, if you want to sign up to the newsletter, make sure you're on our mailing list, and you could be in a chance to win one of those passes. European Association of Test Publishers, so this is the European arm of it. The call for papers is now open. It has been open for a few weeks now, and the deadline is the 1st of June. So you've got until Tuesday next week to submit for that one. So I do strongly recommend that you get your submissions there. Lots of different presentation types. Some really quite interesting approaches. It will be a virtual event, and that's going to be taking place on the 27th to the 29th of September. So please do look out for that. Other events taking place. So we've got the International E-Assessment Conference and Awards. This is where over 4 sessions are going to announce the 8 awards which the association has put together. I'm quite heavily involved in the planning of this one, and I do strongly recommend that you attend. Each session itself is going to have a keynote. There are going to be 2 awards that are going to be delivered, and then there's going to be a panel discussion after that, and 4 different topics through the realms of e-assessment. So please do check that out. If you want to register, it's for free. Go to e-assessment.com/conference and you can find out more information there. Other news, Manny and the team have put together another series of excellent interviews. First one's going to be Liberty Munson on the 7th of June. If you want to check out, I'm going to share a post in a second on LinkedIn. You'll be able to see more information on there as well. But you can also go to our events page, which I'll share in a second as well. So please do check that one out. Liberty is a fantastic speaker. I really recommend listening to what she has to say, particularly about psychometrics and new technology and assessment. Then we have a conference on test security, which is taking place on the 1st of July. Please do check that out, conferenceontestsecurity.org, if you want more information on that one. Or if you want any of the links, information, go to surpass.com/events. You'll find it all there. Other community news information, let's add this to the stream. So we've got, just again repeated there, that's the LinkedIn post. That's what to look out for in terms of the PopTopiks. So you want to be looking for PopTopiks. Manfred Strelly, if you want to look him up on LinkedIn, he's talking about it. So please do check that out, free event. Cambridge Assessment are running some multiple choice question writing workshops. So I would recommend you check those out if you're interested in that. I'm just going to jump to the last one there, which is Ian Morgan, who's the Chief Executive of WJC and EDUCAS, which is EDUCAS is I think it's the English arm of the WJC. He's been talking about the challenges really facing teachers in exam boards as part of a podcast series, so I recommend you check that out. And then just nipping back to the StreamYard one. StreamYard is an environment which we use for delivering our presentations, and they actually deliver some quite interesting session types, just learning content really, which if you're not using StreamYard, it's just good things to take away and learn about how to do on-screen presentations. And that particular one talks about using small mobile lighting to really add a lift to your environment, and something I quite fancy doing here. So if I suddenly change to Surpass Blue soon, then look out for that. That's it for me. Thank you very much. So do check those out. They'll all be on my LinkedIn feed, which will be in the post as well if you want to see those. But thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it. And I won't be around next week. Barry Porter is going to be standing in for me next week. Some excellent content lined up for him, and yeah, feel free to say hello to him. He'll love to respond. So take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.